the last session, which you are going to the build process automation, okay, and I got to what exactly the manual build process, okay, what are the hurdles of if you do it the manual build process, okay, and what is the solution or workaround to to automate them. So we are going to the explanation of multiple tools for different platforms, and among them we are going to the Java build automation, and for that we are seeing Ant, Maven, Gradle tools. So Ant is a tool which we're discussing it right now, okay, and we have seen Ant structure, okay, and how it works, okay. So what is the main script for Ant, okay, which is going to be build.xml, and what is the structure of your build.xml, okay, what are individual elements of it, okay, and then finally we have seen the important actions or elements of build.xml with tasks, and I've categorized those tasks into multiple categories, 4 to 5 categories, and among them we have seen file system tasks to perform all your what do you call OS related tasks like copy paste, remove, okay, delete and all. And then later we have seen the actual Java tasks like your compilation, packaging, jar, all those things. And then we enhanced our scripts to a property based script to make a generic script, okay. So we introduced a concept called properties, which is something like a variables in programming language, okay. And we have seen how to define the properties and various ways of defining, okay. Also we have seen the global properties, or you can call it system properties, okay. Like example, I wanted to know ant version and all, okay. If you remember my last script, you can see that. So build.xml, you have seen this, right? You want to know your ant project name, okay. You want to know your ant version, right? So these kind of things are available in the global properties, and these properties you don't want to define anywhere. They are available with your ant installation, okay. So till here we have covered in the last session. Now I want to continue from the fourth section, which is advanced tasks, okay. So as of now the tasks which is seen are something like kind of very basic, okay. So now we'll see little and extensive tasks of ant. There are some tasks like zip, okay, unzip, okay, and call, and file, exit, blah blah blah. Okay, the many other. I'm just giving the important task which you'll be using in our day-to-day life. Okay, whenever you see some XML files, you'll definitely find this kind of task. Okay, so what exactly these advanced tasks? Let me go through by one. Okay, these are very simple things. I'm calling it advanced, but there's nothing advanced over there. So these are the conventional what do you call the compilation tasks and all. These are something like extra activities apart from your compilation packaging. What else we do within that? Okay, so these things can be done with the help of the zip, unzip, and code. Some tasks are there. Okay, and many are there. I'm not covering all of them, but just for your knowledge, these are the quite few things which will be frequently used in your build scripts and all. So what exactly is zip, unzip, and call and for and all? We'll see one by one. Okay. So zip and zip, okay, they are kind of self-explanatory. You can understand by yourself. Like if I say mkdir, it is self-explanatory, creating a directory. Similarly, zip nothing but I wanted to create a zip file, okay, from a directory. Example, if you look at the directory over here and practice online, this is what our directory where we are working. So look at the build directory. Somebody asking once a build is done, could you please make a zip of it, okay? So if I am doing it manually, I'll use WinZip, 7zip, WinRAR. I'll come up with a this kind of zip file, okay? The same task I want to do it and okay. So there is a task available even for that. So let me try to do the task. I'll create a new XML file. I'll not make use of the same thing. Okay, this property. So this is skeleton I'm preparing it for this file. Test examples for advanced tasks. Okay, save it. Build underscore adv.xml. I just saved with the build underscore adv.xml. So let's see what exactly a zip does. Zip is simple, guys. Zip a directory. Okay, that's it. So typically when I say directory, zipping a directory, nothing but the input is going to be your source. Source is nothing but your directory. Okay, so I want to zip my build directory here, and output is going to be your file, I mean zip file. dest equal to build.zip. That's it. Okay. Now open your command prompt over here. Okay. And minus of build underscore adv.xml. It's failed. So as usual, I'm not sure about these attributes because it's tough to remember each and every attribute. But typically, like the inputs are going to be only two: input and output. Okay, so it's not. I think it might be source. Let's see if my guess is correct. No. Let me check the documentation, guys. Add zip task. Look at this. Okay, it's base dir dest file, guys. Okay, so this is going to be base dir and this is going to be dest file. Okay, so just run it now. Now you got your zip file over there. If you want, you can cross check it. Can you see build.zip? Okay, if you want, you can delete it one time and create one more time. So you have build.zip, right? And this contains exactly your build code. Okay, whatever the code is there. It's just a simple task. Okay. Similarly, you have one more task available like build.zip, which is going to be unzip. So what I will do, I'll try to comment out this first. Okay. Now somebody may give you a zip file to build it, but you cannot build a zip file. You have to extract the code from there. So first extract it and start with your build process. Suppose somebody gave you build.zip to you. Okay. How do you extract it? How do you proceed? So for that, I can make use of unzip. Okay. And this scenario, it's a self-explanatory again. You give a zip as input, output is going to be your directory. Okay. So build.zip is going to be your input and output is going to be build directory. Do you have build directory? I deleted no build directory. So input is going to be source and output is going to be this directory. I'm just guessing it. Let's see. No, it's wrong. Okay, maybe dest. Still wrong. Is it source or what? Okay, this is finally my guess is correct. Okay, it's src and dest, guys. Okay, now you cross check it. Can you see build directory extracted? If you want, I can delete one more time and run it again. So you have build directory. Okay, so these are a few tasks like zip and unzip where you can perform your archiving tasks like zipping the directories.
Chiranjeevi, can you show that command once again, please? Which one the one used to unzip it?
This is the one.
No. In the command line, the command prompt.
In the command prompt, yeah, it's an add command only. There is no unzipping command here.
Okay, so we are using the build underscore adv XML file
yes.
To zip or unzip it.
Yes, I can perform both of them. Yes, you're right.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing. There's no command here. I'm running a task for everything actually. For zipping and unzipping. Okay.
Okay, but specifying the XML file as build underscore adv.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely. Okay. So I'm just commenting out even these two things. Let's proceed with other tasks. So ant call, ant file. So these are the kind of pretty much similar tasks. So what do you mean by ant call is? I think I already explained ant call in the beginning of the session, but anyway I'll recap it again. If you look at your build underscore java.xml, how many targets you have? 1, 2, 3. So this script you already gone through it, right? So the thing is, somebody may ask you like, I was too confused with this dependency concept. Remove all the dependencies. So when you remove the dependencies and when you call one run target, so in this scenario it will call only run target, but actually I don't want to call the run, I want to call entire chain. Tomorrow your 50 targets are there. You want to call them one by one in some sequence, okay? But you don't want to use the dependency. So in those scenarios, what you can do it, you can make use of a task called ant call, okay? So look at this, what I'm trying to do it here. I'm creating one more target. Target name equal to something like main. Target. So what I will do in this target ant call, see first default I'll call main, guys, nothing but the default will come to this main target, okay? Ant call target equal to first which target you want to call. Okay, I want to call compile, right? And call nothing but calling another target. That's it, nothing else. Now I want to call package. Okay, now I want to call run. That's it. Now you don't have to maintain any dependency in the between the targets. You create your custom target called main, something like it's a main program, and your main is in the default. And what will happen once it comes, it calls each and every target. And call is nothing but just calling a target. Okay, so it's a pretty straightforward one. There's nothing like no dependency. Okay, you know to be like they know the sequence and all, because here it is pretty simple sequence. One first, second, third. That's it. Okay, so one target is sufficient enough to manage your entire build on Excel. Okay, it's a very nice task because when you
Yes,
see,
Chiranjeev,
yeah,
one second. But in the lower blocks, you said target name equals compile, target name package, and target name run. Do
yeah,
they still need to exist even though we are
yes,
calling
they have to
using
exist.
that?
Otherwise, it will fail, right? There is no target, something like that.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
But what is the use of this ant call? Even though we are providing in the bottom.
no, in the bottom, what you're providing actually. See, the thing is, they are individual targets, and right, not these are not self-executable. Okay, somebody should execute each and every target. Otherwise, they are not executable in the end. Okay, because earlier, right, to execute package, what you're doing it, you're giving the dependency here. To execute compile, you're giving the dependency here. So if there are more number of
Okay.
targets. Okay, you know to follow the dependency thing. I'm just saying like it's a workaround for dependency. That's it. If you know the dependency,
Oh,
you can
okay.
go ahead with that. Okay, if you don't know about the dependency and all, you can try this here. Okay,
Oh, okay.
so I'm just trying to run that Java.xml. Can you see first main is calling, inside the main and call is calling compile, okay, and then package, then run. That's it, straightforward. Okay, so that's advantage of the and call, nothing else. Okay, it just calls a target. Who joined the call right now? Is it Ashish? Ranjit. Okay.
It's me.
Yeah. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
So now, this AND call is having one more feature called like you can pass a parameter to your target. Okay, just like function parameters. This is how I pass it. AND call. A subtag will be there, like parent name equal to something like treat some x. Okay, and its value is going to be like 100. Whatever, some value. Okay. Now what do you mean with this is I'm calling the compile target by passing a variable called x equal to 1000. See, I'm just giving the x syntax because there might be some chance like you might be using passing some values to your targets. Okay, for some example like some requirement. So this is how we pass it, and how do you read that variable inside this compile? Okay, so you can read them just like a property. So echo x value is, you can read them just like a property, like this dollar floor basis x. Okay, now you try to run this program script, and you look at this, it is printing in the compile x value is 1000, but you try to put the same x value this print statement in the package, right? And you look at the output. Inside the package, it will not print the x value like 1000. The reason it is, you are not passing that x to your package. So the parameter is local to your target. It's not global. Okay. When it comes to property, it's global actually, because you define the property at the inside the project, so that can be used across all the target. Okay. This parameter is local to your target, and you can pass multiple parameters for a single target, like this y equal to y equal to 2000, whatever, you can pass n number of parameters. It is not only one parameter. So that's about two tasks, and call. Okay, where is my this thing? Yeah, and call. So now what do you mean by and file is things are good, everything is nice, but tomorrow suppose I have a project something like this. So there is a project, okay, which is having module 1, module 2, okay, module 3, right? So this is having the source directory and build.xml, okay, and this is having source directory, src, and build.xml, SRC. Assume this is what my project structure. Okay. Now somebody asks you to compile entire project. What do you think? You might be going. You will be going into SRC, run and once. Again come here, module 2, run and once. Again come here. So you have to call 3 times and all. So instead of that, what I can do it at parent level here. Okay. I will write something like build underscore main something main dot xml. So inside this, I'll not do anything. I'll just call my other build scripts. Okay. There is no logic behind inside the main.xml. I'll just call them like and file, okay, and space and file equal to. I want to call mod1, sorry, mod1 build.xml. That's it. Okay. The same thing. I will copy paste it for my mod. So this is what ant file. Ant file is nothing, guys. Calling another build.xml in some other build.xml. Okay. So you are calling some other script from your script. So let's see an example, then you understand much better. So assume this ADB is your main program, guys. Okay. Now I want to call ant file. I want to call build underscore java.xml. Okay. Right. So look at this, guys. How many targets we have it in this one? Only test only. Okay. But when you try to run it right, it will call this script and it will execute all the targets of the build underscore java.xml. So just have a look at it here. And minus f build underscore adb, right? So in adb I have only one test target, but when you run it, something went wrong. Okay, I didn't close it, guys. So look at this. Right, so build is successful. Can you see this? That script is having only one test target, but it is calling all this target because these targets are all not belongs to the same script. They belongs to the and Java file. Similarly, you can call multiple scripts. Okay, and number of scripts you can call it. So I want to call build.java. Okay, build.xml. I want to call build underscore. What do you call? Do you have any other file here? Yeah, file.xml. Okay, so I want to call all the scripts from string here. Look at this, all of them are calling on one. Maybe it is failing for some other reason because there might be a bug in that script, not in the current script. Okay, look at this. High copy task is failing. The reason it is there's something went wrong over there. Okay, so nothing but it is executing all other scripts. There is nothing to do with your current script. So some issue with your build.xml or build underscore file.xml. Okay, so this is how you call some other scripts. This is called ant files. Okay? And there is one more advantage with the ant file. You can call a particular target. Somebody may ask you, could you please call only compile target inside this build underscore Java? So when you give target equal to compile, right, it will call only the target. It will not call the default. If you want, you can check it out. Let me remove this guys. These are failing, right? Can you see it is calling only compile? It is not doing anything else. Okay, the reason it is, so you are calling only compile target. If you remove the target, right, it will call the default. Default nothing but what are the default target default in this. That's it. So this is about ant file. Okay, and next exec. Okay, so what do you mean by exec here? See, now you have performed the compilation packaging, you perform the file system operations. Now you perform the operations like multiple scripts you are executing at a time. Okay, so there are many things you are doing it. So similarly, somebody may ask you, could you please run a batch script using AND? A special requirement. Somebody may ask you, could you please run a Perl script? Okay, could you please tell me what all the files and directories are in the current directory? Okay, using AND script. So these are all the things we don't have any task in the ant scripting actually. Okay, so but you can do one thing by making use of the exec task. Okay, with exec is something like solution for all, not what do you call all. I can give something like anything which you don't have an ant task, right? Okay, you can perform with exec. Example, I wanted to delete a file. Okay, you have a delete task. Okay, I wanted to create a directory. You have a create directory. I want to compile the code. You have a JavaC task. Okay, so you have tasks for each and everything. Okay, but there are something like I want to run this Perl script. there is no task available. I want to list down the files and directories in the current directory. Okay, so I don't have any task for that. So to simulate these kind of special requirements, we can make use of exec task. Hey Ashish, good morning. Thanks for joining.
Hey, good morning. Sorry I joined late. Actually, I was out, so
Okay,
I
no issues, man.
joined late.
Thanks.
Sorry. Yeah.
So exec is a task where you can simulate all your external operations, okay, using AND scripting. Example I can tell you guys. See, somebody may ask you to open a notepad. So how do you think notepad? You can go to here and try to launch notepad, right? So same thing, you can do it with your command prompt. Can you see notepad? So it opened. Okay, somebody may ask you, could you please print the list of files and address they are? Okay, can you please run a batch file? Okay, so suppose if you have any batch file, right, a.bat, you can run the a.bat file like this. Okay, so if you clearly observe all these things, okay, external things, you are making use of command prompt as a platform and you are doing all these things. Okay, so similarly, even in exec task, right? Okay, so you have to provide your uh, platform as an input and your arguments. Okay, so command prompt is my platform and input is going to be this command. Okay, so if you could provide these inputs to your ant exec task, so whatever you do it in the command line, right, the same thing can be done with your ant exec event. Okay, so just have a look at this. I'll show you how it works. Sorry, exec. So first you need to define your OS case, which OS you are working right now. Okay, so right now I'm working on Windows 7, right? Next, if you're Windows 8, provide Windows 8 guys. And executable. What do you mean by executable? Your platform. So where you are running all these commands in cmd.exe, right? Now close your exec. So first you define your operating system and your platform. In the subtag, you have to provide, okay, argline equal to /c. Then what do you want to perform? I want to open a notepad. Just type notepad. That's it. So whatever you want to do, right? You provide that command, okay, and just save it and try to execute it. Close this arguments, okay. Now,
Hello, sir.
yeah, just say, somebody saying something.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, Ashish here.
Yeah, Ashish.
Can you just within 2 minutes speed up what we cover in like from today morning?
Uh, uh,
Did
it
we start at Marvin
no,
exactly?
we didn't start
Not
at
it, right?
no, it's still ant. Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, continue.
Thing is, last session we have gone through ant only. Okay, so we are pending with few more topics now. So let me complete that. Mostly once it is done, I'll start the analysis. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm just trying to run this task to show you how ant can simulate your external commands. Okay. And this go adv.exec. Can you see this notepad open? Nothing but your ant is simulating what you do in your command prompt. Okay, so it's not on a notepad, you can do many things. Okay, I want to see the list of files and directories, dir command. You just do this. Can you see the output? Okay, and you can, if you want to run a batch file, okay, I can run a batch file. A dot, okay, I have a batch file in E drive, guys. Okay, a dot batch file. See it, okay, there is no file actually. I'm having any batch file.
Chiranjeevi, sorry,
Yes.
can we, so we are only passing the parameters to just display on the screen. Can we spool the, redirect the output to a different file to view the
Yes,
data? Because,
of course you can do that. Yes, you can do that.
oh, okay, because if you are running a big task, you can't see everything on the screen.
Yeah, of course. See, suppose think about this thing, DAR SQL. Okay, there so many things are there. You cannot see it, right? See, how do you relate in a command prompt? You just take it like a.txt. Everything related a.txt. If you want to see the a.txt, like more a.txt, you can go through it, page by page, something like that. It's stored in a file, and you can open the file. So same
Oh,
task. This you copy paste it to your thing. That's it. Okay. See, there is one more way is there. Instead of doing this redirection, I want to store entire ant output. Ant output is nothing but, so this output I want to store it actually. Okay, this entire output. So for that there is an option is there. I'll talk about that option and see. We have some one topic called for options even. You can see ant options. Okay. So I'll cover that, how to capture entire log in the file, okay, any log file. So yeah, I was talking about the exec, right? So you can perform multiple things, any external thing you can simulate with your exec task. Somebody may ask you to do SVN checkout using ANT. It's pretty simple. Do the SVN checkout. You provide nothing, guys. Whatever you do it on a command prompt, you pass the parameter. Okay, that's a straightforward, simple thing, right? So you just do that. You can simulate it. Okay, and one more advantage with the exec is sometimes we might be forgetting few tasks like unzip, zip and all, okay, or some JavaC command, some task command, some task you might be forgetting it. So in those scenarios, right, if you know that task can be done from command prompt, right? Okay, if you could able to do that task from command prompt, okay, if you know the exact task, you can simulate using anti easily, okay, put that task, okay, the command, whatever the command you type it, right, put it into your exec, right, it's equivalent to what you do using the ant task, that's it, okay. So that's the power of the exec. If you know exec syntax, pretty much you can do any automation, okay, any external task you can do with the ant, okay. So that's really cool, good task which I've seen in the ant, okay, among all of them, okay. The rest of the tasks are not for specific purpose, but exec is kind of a simulator where you can convert any kind of action into the ant format, that's it. So these are few good advanced stuff, okay, so which you'll be quite frequently using it while writing the scripts, okay. Now thing is, as of now, you've gone through kind of a tasks which are very basic, okay. For even if you look at a Java project also, you are seeing a hello project, okay. Now I want to show you a web application right now, okay. So the project which you have seen in the Java, okay, so it's a standalone application, okay, standalone app where you just built a jar and execute it, that's it, okay. So instead of this, right now in the industry, very few standalone applications are there. Most of them the applications are going to the online. So those applications we call it as a web applications. Okay. So a web application is nothing but an application where you bundle a static content, okay, a static at the same time dynamic content bundle as a package and host it on a web or app server. Okay, so that is the technical definition of a web application, where it will serve the pages to the users, okay, with the help of a browser. Okay, so using the browser, people can access your web application, which is hosted on an application or web server. This entire thing, how it is doing, how the application server works, how web server works, what is static content, what is dynamic content, everything I talk about when I'm talking about applications responsibilities. But right now, just try to understand what is web app is. Web app is a package of static and dynamic. What do you mean by static is? This contains some HTML, CSS, okay, XML, JSPs, those files it contains. What do you mean by dynamic is the actual Java code. See, you have written some standalone jar file code, right? .java files, okay. So those compiled binaries are called the dynamic. Nothing but dot class it can be dot class, it can be dot jar, okay. So ultimately, the package format of a web application is going to be var star.var, okay. So for a standalone, you call it as a jar, right? So jar nothing but it's a Java archival, okay, archival, and it's also called it's a collection of class files, okay. So class files are something like that completely dynamic code. It doesn't contain anything else apart from class files. But when it comes to the var file, right, as it is a static and dynamic, so dynamic nothing but it's a collection of dynamic content, okay, kind of classes, okay, and it can be jars in, okay, dynamic content and static content, okay. So it comes it has classes, it has jars, it has HTMLs, it has XMLs, okay, it has CSS, everything is there. So a var is a combination of all these files, okay. So that we call it as a web application, and we need to see how a web application built using ANSYS. Okay, so for that, right, the compilation is now pretty good, you know it anyway with the JavaC task. But how do you package a var? Okay, so for that there is a task available called var task. Okay, if you remember my last session, I've listed even var here. Okay, but I explained only JavaC, jar and Java. Okay, because these are enough for the basic standard application. But when it comes to var, web application, you have to build a var. So how do we build a var? So to build a var, I need a proper Java web application source code, guys. Okay, so I have a sample example of application source code. I'll show you the entire example with that code. I just copied, pasted this source code into our directory, and look at this. So let me delete this. So this is what the source code directory structure is. Okay. So what it is having is, it is having source code and below XML. Remove this here. Okay, source code and below XML. So typical Java application source code which is contains source directory and below XML, but you see one extra component, web content. So this talks about your static content, guys. Okay, whatever is there inside the web content, okay, like XML. Okay? I told you that JSPs, okay, some XML files, okay. So it contains even the libraries, also called jar files. Okay, can you see all these jar files? Because I said a var is a collection of even jars, okay, HTML, XML, okay, and at the same time, finally, it contains even your class files, which are compiled code of your application. So SRC is your dynamic content. You cannot copy source code into your web application, your WAR file actually. So you have to first compile this. Nothing but among these two directories, you need to write a build script to compile only the SRC. You cannot compile a static content, guys. Static is always static. There is no compilation for static actually. So let's try to compile the source SRC, okay, and once SRC is compiled, you get the class files, okay, then those class files, okay, those classes and the web content jar, web content HTML files, everything will bundle, and that bundle we call as a war file. Okay, so let me try to open this build script. So in this build script, I'll just walk you through with the steps. We already gone through this task and all. So this init is nothing, guys. It is just creating the output address, build classes and dist and all. That's it. Okay, and there is a task called compile. Okay, if you remember compilation, this is how you are doing it. Okay, source is what? SRC. Right now the dynamic content only the SRC can be compiled. Okay, so this SRC, if you look at this, is having a multiple directories and multiple Java files. Can you see web is having one Java file, and inside the service two Java files. Okay, so here it is one more Java file. So you have set of source files here. Okay, inside SRC. Now SRC as a directory I am giving as input to my JavaC task, and output I am going to store it in the build classes. Okay, so let's see whether this compile target runs properly or not. Okay, so go to the web app and compile. I'm just calling directly the compile. Okay, so when I call compile, compile is having a difference in it. It is calling init. Okay, but it's called init, and if you look at the errors, it is calling the init. That's fine. It is created directories, but the thing is, it is failing at the compilation. Okay, so these are all called compilation errors, guys. There are 8 errors are there. Okay, so you might be thinking then, if you ask the developer about these errors, developer says, in my machine, this is good, it is compiling. I don't know why it is failing in the machine. So what do you think here? Okay, what happened exactly over here? Okay, so the thing is, if you clearly look at right, okay, the source code which you're trying to compile is depending on some external libraries. Okay, so can you see some import statements here? Import, import, import. What do you mean by an import is, if you look at the Java code here, go to the source code once. Even you don't know about the source code language, but try to understand what do you mean by import here. So look at this. So can you see this import com vanilla something user, okay? At the same time service, import this thing, okay? And come back here and look at web app. So can you see this is importing multiple libraries, okay? Which is org string framework web.service. So what do you mean by this is, see, if you look at the Hello World program, in Hello World you don't have any imports, okay, which is a very basic one, and you are printing something. But here, if you look at this Java code, a developer will return some import statement. What do you mean by this import is, whenever you are compiling this code, okay, the code is using all these libraries, okay, then you might be thinking where these libraries are available. The libraries are available with your code itself. If you want, the developer will let you know the library's location, okay. So the developer will help you to find out the libraries. So where are the libraries? So web go to the web content web can you see lib, these are all the libraries, okay. So whenever you are compiling your code, you have to keep these libraries in mind and compile it. Then you might be thinking, how do I write an ant task to compile the code by keeping them in my reference? Okay, so for that Ant is providing one provision called path variable. Okay, so make use of the path variable concept in the Ant. So you have to create a path variable outside the targets or inside the target. It's up to you. If you create inside, right, so what will happen? The scope of the path is inside only, okay? But if you create outside the target, this path variable can be used across any targets. That's only advantage of keeping outside the targets. So just now look at this path ID. You can give anything, okay, my ID, whatever, some name you give it, and you have to mention where are your library files. So copy path, copy this path, entire path, web content or not. You need a relative path, okay? So copy paste that path, right? Always give the forward slashes, guys. Okay. So once you copy pasted, what files you want to include? Okay. So if you give include star.jar, it includes only jar file. If you have any other files, it will not include it. So this is how you set up a path variable. Simple thing, file set task and include. Okay. If you want to include everything, you remove this include thing. Okay. It will include everything. That's it. Okay. So my ID is going to be your reference ID for these libraries. Now my job is to provide this reference at the time of compilation. So how do I provide inside the compilation? Okay, so the Java C task split it into a subtask.
Shivanji, the directory,
Yeah,
sorry,
you're saying
the
something.
directory you said web content web inf/lib.
That is from
Don't we have to
the build.xml. Can you see this build.xml? From here we need to count it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So from there, anything from here only. This is what your kind of parent directory. Any directory you have to consider from here. That's all. So yeah, I need to give this reference, okay, at the time of compilation. So for that, Java is split into a open and closing tagging format, and you have one sub tag called class path ref id equal to, okay. Now in this ref id, you try to mention whatever the id you created here. You can give anything there, and same thing you have to mention the class path ref id here. So when you give this right, what will happen at the time of compilation of the source, okay, the Ant compiler will look into this library locations and keeps in mind and compiles the code. Okay. Now you try to compile your code as you created a path variable and included in the your Java C task, right? So try to compile now. How look at this 4 source code files successfully compiled because it found all the libraries and successfully compiled your code. Okay, when successfully compile your code, you can see the build and the classes. Okay, com, okay, vanilla, all of them dot class. Can you see dot class files are created? So your compilation is good and everything is done now. Okay, so I'm done with my compilation, but we are not done with our entire packaging and all. Okay, so compilation is done only for the source code, but what do you mean by a web application? It's a collection of dynamic nothing but class files and static nothing but your HTML and all. So I want to create a package, okay, so with the format of var including the class files and static content, libraries, everything. So how do you do that? Okay, so there's a,
Okay.
yeah,
Sanjeev, what exactly this compiling does?
compiling will convert your source code into a binary format. Classes, that's it. It is not doing anything else.
Okay.
Okay, so but actually that is not sufficient enough for our web application because this class files will be used in the back end of the application server to run your business logic. But from when it comes to front end, right, when it comes to browser based application, it requires some static content like HTML, XML files and all. Okay, so for that the web content folder contains some JSPs, HTMLs and all, so these will be useful. So that's the reason we have to package this and this both together. Okay, a build directory and the web content directory, so that you will get a package file called var file, and that var file can be used to deploy it into your application server so that people can access the application. So now I'm done with my compilation, okay, and next thing is packaging. So I have written the task here for packaging. Instead of jar like regular standard application, I'm putting var. So var of course depends on the compile because I need these class files before packaging it, right? So the depends is proper here. Now look at the var task. Okay, so in var, right, there are two important things. One is a web application is recognized with the help of one important configuration file called web.xml. That will be there inside the webinf folder. If you want, you can have a look at this web content webinf. Can you see web.xml? This is a mandatory file. Developer will commit this file in your S3 or Git, okay, for sure. And your job is to find out where this file is there and mention that web XML attribute, okay, with the path details. Okay, and that is our first input. And second input is going to be like, what are all the files you want to bundle it, zip it. Okay, so I want my entire web content, because this content always static content and libraries and all.
Do
And
we
this,
do we have to find a web XML, or
no, web XML will be there in your source
how
code
do
itself.
you actually find the web?
See, typically,
Okay.
if you look at any web application, that will be there inside the web content only. Okay,
Oh, okay.
yeah, any web application you look at it, okay, it will be there inside the web content, it for sure. If there is no web.xml, nothing, but that is not in a proper application and you cannot deploy it. You can make a var. Okay, see, I can make some dummy XML, I can put it, you can make a var, but that var will not work. Okay, so now the second important input is your web content and your dynamic files. So can you see build classes here? I told you, right, you have to package this and this. So build directory, okay, entire build directory and the web content. So these are two things. Now this web XML, this inputs, finally I want an ultimate package file called a var file, and that var file you can create directly in the home page like web.var. Okay, it's a dest file. So it will create a file called webapp.war which contains everything. Okay, so let's try to run this war. So when you call war, it will call compile, compile will call init. So war is prepared now. Okay, so just come back here. Can you see webapp.war here? So the war file is prepared, and try to open this in a 7-zip, and it contains everything what you zipped it actually. Can you see static content, redirect.html, and web enough? Can you see libraries, all of the libraries, and can you see the classes, the dynamic content, which is the vanilla and all your dot class files. So this is how it will zip it, okay, and give a nice war file, and this is what your final artifact is, just like a jar. Okay, so this is all about how do you build a web application and how do you package it. Okay, so once the packaging is done, your next job is to deploy. So how to deploy a war file, we'll see in the deployment section. Okay, for right now, with the build point of view and packaging, that's it, we are done. Okay, so this is all about a sample web application build and packaging.